So during the holidays, I had a very quick catch-up with a previous guest about a topic coming up more and more in boardrooms and security teams right now. So Michael from Mammoth Cyber will be joining me once again. We're going to talk about the rise of AI browsers. What does this shift mean for enterprise security? Because Michael is deeply embedded in this space through his work that focuses on helping organizations safely adopt AI-powered browsing without opening the door to new risks. So today we will unpack why AI browsers are quickly becoming the new workflow hub, why enterprise adoption is lagging behind the consumer use. I think most of us are using this kind of technology at home, and very often we go into the workplace, it feels like taking a step back in time. But all this is changing. And 2026 is already shaping up to be somewhat of a turning point as a security-first approach to AI web browsing is beginning to catch up with the innovation. So if you're interested in AI web browsing in the workplace but have a lot of security concerns, hopefully we'll tackle some of those today. Before introducing today's guest, I just want to give a big thank you to my friends at Denodo, who are helping enterprises make sense of the data world. For example, are you overwhelmed by data chaos? Because between AI hype and lakehouse sprawl and siloed systems, it can feel impossible to keep up. But Denodo is helping you cut through that noise. They unify your data across clouds, apps, and sources so you can power trustworthy AI. So if you're finally ready to make sense of the data world, visit denodo.com today. But enough from me. Let's get Michael back onto the podcast now. So a massive warm welcome back to the podcast. For anyone that missed our last conversation, can you tell everyone listening a little about who you are and what you do?
Hi, my name is Michael Shieh. I'm the founder and CEO of Mammoth Cyber, and we developed the enterprise AI browser.
And that's one of the reasons I was excited to get you back on the podcast, because at the very beginning of a new year, something magical happens. We hit the ground running, want to talk about doing things differently, working differently, and looking at new opportunities to improve how we work. And AI web browser is something that started to catch on towards the end of last year. But just to set the scene, what is an AI web browser and how is it different from a traditional browser that people use, which could be, I don't know, Safari, Firefox, Google Chrome? What's the difference there?
Hi, Neil. The AI browser is really agentic AI integrated into the browser. So it's really part of the user workflow. Whenever user work on a different application, AI is always there to be assistant. And that can help the user convert from traditional just browsing into real work automation.
And it's interesting that we talk about this now, because one of the things that I've noticed over the last 12 months is how my own search preferences have changed. If I'm on holiday somewhere, if I land on a business trip in a strange place, I'd no longer go to Google and say, what's the best way of getting from the airport to my hotel? I will typically use an AI agent of sorts, or an AI browser, or ChatGPT. There's so many different options there, but I don't get sponsored ads. It'll tell me exactly what to do and where to go. I'm curious, are you seeing a big shift in adoption there? Because even during the holiday season, looking for gifts, AI will give me personalized gift recommendations other than unlike a Google search, for example. But how are you seeing adoption of AI web browsers, both in the workplace and in your family's personal lives? Are you seeing a big shift here?
Yes, I do see the big shift there. On the consumer space, we see a lot of people start using AI, especially like in Google search. The AI more is integrated into there. So this really transform people. Traditional is really looking up the web static information and try to summarize and congest the information to become more automated, that AI can really summarize and analyze the result to show to the user right away. But we see the enterprise, the business side adoption is still lagging. I think part of the reason is really for the security.
Yeah, and it's interesting you say that the business side is lagging, but we've kind of been here before with BYOD, shadow IT. We've seen this trend, and it only ever ends one way, because if we use something in our personal lives all the time, people are going to use that in the office no matter what. So what are the biggest security concerns of business leaders when it comes to AI web browsers?
Yes, I think the biggest security risk for AI browser is the indirect prompt injection, because the browser may read all the different websites on the internet. Some of the websites could be crafted for the AI attack, which can really alter what AI memory and be able to redirect AI to do something that they shouldn't do. And that's really a big risk that still cannot resolve today.
Yeah, I'm hearing one of the big buzzwords I hear a lot at the moment is MCP. That's the big one, and Agentic AI and AI web browsers, etc. And one of the big concerns is just opening up, as these agents are all talking to each other, opening up vulnerabilities. How do you put your customers at ease, and what do you do differently at Mammoth?
Yeah, when we develop our solution, we actually evaluate, what the malicious activity can do for the AI browser. So this could be data collection or credential exposure, or the hacker may be able to doing some AI action that against the company policy. All that actually should be monitored and controlled. So we start building with this secure first architecture that pretty much building the security in every step in the AI action. This include, let's say, connect to the AI model with the monitor and control the AI memory, with what's the application the AI model can read, and what's the data they can consume. All that have a built-in security mechanism built-in to really secure the AI browser.
And I know a lot of businesses that I've spoken with, they're more open to using an AI web browser for things internally, but externally and using agents that will go on and off the network to get information, etc. There's a certain amount of cautiousness there. For your customers at Mammoth, are they able to use AI for both internal and external activities? And how are they using that? And any success stories or how those businesses are using it? Anything you can share around that?
Yes. It's absolutely right. From on the internal application, it's more as a trust data that people trust the information. The very rare attack will come out from internal data. But when the AI browser access external data, especially the random website on the internet, there's always a big risk that the AI could be attacked. So on our security design, we actually separate the trust versus untrust source and be able to define different policy on that. And this is really be able to start building the sandbox between the data set and using our technology to really isolate and secure the AI from a different data source.
And if we was to go directly into an organization, maybe they're one of your customers, how is an AI web browser impacting the workflow inside an organization? Any examples or stories you can tell me there? Because there's a big focus right now on the ROI of tech and what improvements is it doing? How is it making things better? Any examples you can share around how it's transforming a workflow, for example?
Think about this. Traditional when we want to write the analysis about our own product versus the competitors. Usually, the person needs to go onto the internet, search all the competitor, find the information, and be able to compare the internal document to be able to write a competitor analysis. But with the AI, be able to consume internal multiple documents together, and also go out internet automatically to find out the competitor. This really saves the time from, let's say, 2-3 days job into a few minutes. And that's really power of AI that, AI be able to consume some of the data is really powerful to help the, employee to really do their job. And this, really solving the text automation, or it provide a personalized assistant. And all that is really bundle, integrate AI into the browser, into their daily workflow.
And obviously, here we are at the beginning of 2026. What excites you at the opportunities for this year? Not just for AI web browsers, but for yourself and everything that you're working on. It feels like it's going to be a big year for you.
Yes, we do see, the 2026 is really the year that people will adapt more AI browser from the traditional way. And this is really, we see the big shift, browser has, come out, for, 20, 30 years. We always using the same way to look at information to really have our daily life. But with the AI, is really a game changer. It's traditional browsing, takes so much time for research different topic. Right now, AI actually can gather the information for you. So you are really saving all the research time and be able to drive the decision on the spot. And I think that's the beauty of the AI browser. And we see the adoption of it in 2026 will really increase just because the technology is more mature and the security mechanism is more in place to protect that.
And there are so many different AI web browsers out there. For people listening, hearing about Mammoth for the first time, and that Mammoth Cyber Enterprise AI browser, it is built to do so much more than just enabling access. It's actually designed to secure how enterprises interact with their applications and LLMs. And at a time where most business applications are inside the web browser and they're interacting with LLMs, how would you describe what you do at Mammoth and what sets you apart from everything else out there?
Yeah, our key differentiation is the security. I think we recognize the power of the AI browser for the user productivity, but a key thing that is very hard to solve is really security. How do you secure user using a browser free of to mitigate all the different attack? And with our the secure first framework, we can really gate in and prevent the attack on a different stage. We develop this 4-layer protection that we can from the AI model into the connection to the internet. All that is fully controlled by the policy. This mechanism can really help organization to really secure the AI browser, and at the same time also boost the user productivity.
And since our last conversation, I was looking at your LinkedIn page. I've been following that, and a familiar face popped up on there, because you're not just talking about trust, you're talking about zero trust security. And when I think zero trust security, the first person that comes to mind is the one and only Dr. Zero Trust. Yeah, I'm talking about Chase Cunningham. So do you do a lot of work with Chase, or?
Oh yeah, Chase is a good friend. He is very knowledgeable about zero trust. And I think, you probably see his the paper talking about zero trust with the AI browser. I think that's brilliant. It really addresses the weakness of the AI browser and talk about what's the mechanism that can really secure that.
Yeah, I would call him a friend of the show. He's been on here 3 or 4 times. And I just want to give a big thank you to my sponsor, who is supporting every show, every episode across the Tech Talks network this month, because their backing helps me bring you conversations with leaders from every corner of the tech world, day after day. And this month, I'm proud to be partnering with Alcor. And anyone who's tried to scale an engineering team across borders, they will know firsthand how messy it can get, because they deal with endless providers, then there's confusing rules to deal with in each and every region, and fees that always seem to surface at the last minute. Now, Alcor, they solve that by acting as a partner rather than just an intermediary. And they focus on tech teams that expand in Eastern Europe and Latin America, and they bring employer of record services together with recruiting. So, essentially, they help you pick the right country, source the right engineers, and assess them properly, and then get them active for you and your company within days. And one of the things that stands out for me is the financial transparency. Around 85% of what you pay goes directly to your engineers. Their fee goes down as your team grows, and if you ever wanted to bring your team in-house, you do so with no exit costs. That kind of clarity is why Silicon Valley startups, including several unicorns, have chosen Alcor. And you can find out more by simply going to alcor.com/podcast or follow the link in the show notes below. As for yourself here, looking toward to the future, what excites you right now? What you're looking forward to this year? And is there anything that keeps you up at night? Anything you're working hard on?
Yes, we did see, the AI actually going to rise more into the people's daily life in 2026. And, with a browser is really the center mechanism that user interact with, with outside information. I think the security there is really something that people will pay attention and address that. We're lacking in the leading space, to really solve this problem. But that's also something keep me awake at night for those different security issues going to come out.
And for anyone listening, just wanting to dig a little bit deeper on anything we talked about today, anywhere in particular where they can keep up to speed with all things enterprise AI browsing and zero trust security and some of the big announcements that you've probably got coming out throughout the year. And anywhere in particular you'd like to point everyone?
Yes, we update our LinkedIn page, every week, and it's really show all the potential attack on the AI browser and the way to mitigate that. So please follow us, Mammoth Cyber on LinkedIn and our website.
I will add links to everything you mentioned there. And one thing I was going to highlight actually is on your LinkedIn page, which I do follow now, you do a weekly data breach signal, don't you? Which if you're following your LinkedIn page, that's got to be worthwhile on its own just to get that regular update.
Yes.
It's a pleasure to have you back on the podcast. I think AI browsing is reshaping security. The big question I keep hearing is, are you ready? And I think just talking to you today will certainly get people coming your way and finding out a little bit more about it. I'd love to see how things evolve this year, but just thank you for joining me again on the podcast.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you to having me here.
So a big thank you to Michael for joining me again, sharing another clear-eyed view of where AI browsers are heading, the very real security risks enterprises need to think about, and why security-first design is becoming non-negotiable, especially around AI web browsing. So I'll add links to the show notes so you can follow Mammoth Cyber, check out their weekly data breach signals on LinkedIn, and also dig deeper into the ideas we discussed today. But as always, I'd want to hear your thoughts on this. Are AI browsers already part of your workflow? Or is security still the biggest barrier holding things back? So as we wrap up today, I want to double down on something I mentioned at the start. If you enjoy Tech Talks Daily, if you get value from these conversations that we're having, or if an episode sparks a new idea or a challenge for your team, please, I'm going to ask you to leave a rating or short review on your podcast app of choice. It might seem like a small thing, but it really helps the show reach new listeners and keep these conversations going. So I will be back on the road throughout the year, attending events and meeting leaders across tech, security and business. And equally, if you're heading to any of the same conferences or even explore working together, head over to techtalksnetwork.com to see where I'll be, what I'm working on, and we can maybe just meet and have a quick chat. Whether it is a coffee, beer, or deeper collaboration, I'm open to almost any conversation. But that's it for today. So thank you for listening as always. Speak with you soon. Bye for now.